Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all, everybody who is listening to us tonight. Thank you to those folks that are listening to our replays on TuneIn. Thank you to everybody that's listening to us live right now on Legacy Internet Radio. We the flagship show. It's because of you guys. It's the reason why we continue doing this show week after week after week. Shout out to my cousin Terry. She's listening to us right now. She said that she hears a story about the parents in Turkey. The fact that these parents are not in jail, leaving that 10-month-old baby alone is amazing. The 10-month-old did not put itself in the wrath. Kathy is listening and says she loves the beach, but she ain't trying to get into this water right now because of the shark. Kathy is repping North Carolina, by the way, so she ain't trying to get in that water either. So I'm just trying to get some of these comments in from the folks that have been listening to us since we had gone to the break. We had, let's see, because there's a few here. Stay with me. I'm trying to make sure that I get comments in from everybody else. We got a couple of comments in on the Jason Pierre Paul story that we did on the fireworks that are coming in. And Melissa says that she's a dummy. Damon says that he's a dummy as well. So we got a few people checking in with regards to that. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. What I want to do now, Amber, we talked a few minutes ago about some of the stuff that we're going to get to here in this next segment, and one of those things I want to get to is this judge, and the judge, of course, was presiding over her courtroom, and the person who she saw come before the bench was someone that looked familiar to her. Take a listen to this story, and we're going to talk about it.
An unusual and emotional story out of Miami-Dade Bond Court, where it turns out the judge and the defendant actually realized that they were classmates in middle school, their lives taking very different turns.
The bond on count one is $7,500.
This begins as a standard bond court appearance, the judge in her robe, the defendant in a county-issued jail jumpsuit. But then it becomes clear their worlds aren't that far apart.
Mr. Booth, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you, sir.
Judge Mindy Glazer realizes she and Arthur Booth went to Nautilus Middle School together all those years back on Miami Beach. Booth cannot stop crying.
Oh, my goodness.
Judge Glazer said the two were classmates here at Nautilus Middle School. She said they played together and called Booth a good kid.
This is the nicest kid in middle school.
Oh, my goodness.
He was the best kid in middle school. I used to play football with him, all the kids, and look what has happened. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
It just brought back memories of how smart he was. He was a scholar, well-rounded athlete, you know, bilingual.
Booth's cousin tells us he had potential for greatness, but instead of college, he went on another path, on and off of crime and drugs, but always good at his core, she says, a good dad and grandfather.
I was heartbroken. I mean, it just broke my heart, but we're really trying to find help because there's obviously a need for help.
This latest arrest was for burglary, and Booth is still in jail. His family hopes this reunion between old classmates might be a wake-up call.
Mr. Booth, I hope you're able to change your ways. Good luck to you.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you think he was thinking when he, sees the judge?
Wow, I had those possibilities and those opportunities, and that should have been me up there.
The judge said that she hopes that Booth can lead a lawful life. Right now, he's being held on $43,000 bond.
Oh, my goodness. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Oh, my goodness, Amber. Oh, my goodness.
That's what he said.
Oh, my goodness. Now you're hearing this story. What do you think about this?
I mean, it sounds like a lot of people that I know.
When you went to high school and middle school, first of all, you went to high school and middle school in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
San Diego. So if you happen to run into, I don't know how likely it is, being here on the East Coast now, but let's just play the game for a second. If you happen to run into somebody in high school, from high school or middle school, I mean, would you think that you could run into them in that kind of capacity? I mean, I don't know. Like, that's kind of crazy, ain't it?
Well, in that kind of capacity, they must be the criminal, and I would be the judge. And yeah, I could absolutely see that happening. Absolutely, because it sure would be the other way around.
The judge actually
Knock
said.
on wood.
The judge actually said at one point that she always wondered what happened to him. You know, and I think we all have those people that you wondered whatever happened to them. You know, I had a friend of mine, you know, when I initially brought the story up on social media, and unfortunately, I don't have his comments here right in front of me, but I do remember the gist of what he was saying. And, you know, we didn't grow up together, but I know him. And he actually was for a long time a police officer in Newark, New Jersey. And he said that he would come upon people that he knew from the old days all the time. He would run up on them, and, you know, he wasn't the type of cat that wouldn't do what he had to do. Like, he had to do his job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if he really did kind of mess with every single person that he could have, man, his arrest record would have went through the roof.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, you got some folks that you wonder what's going on with them?
I mean, not really, because honestly, I don't really remember a lot of people from middle school. My memory is horrible. But I mean, there are a few people that I still keep in contact with, which is why, you know, I don't ever delete my Facebook. But, I mean, everybody can't make it. It's not designed that way for everybody to make it. There's going to be successes and there's going to be failures. And sometimes you're surprised at who they are. And most of the time you're not, you know. But, I mean, I guess, you know, in that instance, at least, you know, she was surprised.
Yeah, she definitely was. And I tell you, when I think about this story, you know, in the advent of Facebook and social media and Instagram and MySpace before that, and Black Planet before MySpace, you know, you have had an opportunity, at least I have, you know, to kind of befriend folks that you have had access to them the whole time. So a lot of these people, I already know what's going on with them. You know? You know, and a lot of times you see Facebook pages disappear, no, you know, contact from folks. You know, you wonder what's going on with them, and sometimes, you know, it's because they just needed to take a break, as you did, and sometimes it's because they got that government issued vacation.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? But like on my Facebook page, I can go back to all of the jobs that I've had. You know, my jobs from out of college to the present to college, a lot of my, you know, personal friends that I have now, Legacy and Net Radio people, Lodge Brothers, people that I went to college with, people that I went to high school with, my family, people I went to middle school with, people I went to elementary school with.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, but see, I go through all of that to say that story is crazy to me, because you already know a lot of these people, what's going on with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I mean, but it's a link. But at the same time, the people that you really care about, you already know what's going on with them. The people that, you know, that you're really friends with, and the people that are, you know, part of your, I mean, social media is cool for being, you know, like an indirect link to people, or for keeping, you know, kind of keeping you in contact with. I mean, I'm still in contact with some people that I went to school with back in San Diego, you know, some people that I was in the military with, just, you know, just random, just people that you know, you want to keep. It's all in one central location, you know, but that's definitely not where I talk to my friends. I don't talk to my friends on social media. I talk to my friends on the telephone, and I text my friends, you know, like social media isn't a direct link to, you know, to the person. So for the people that matter, they, you know, those are the people that know the whole story. You know, those are the people that were talking after the video and were like, he had so much potential. And
so those are the people that are important.
That's what I think, you know, because I mean, everybody has a story. Everybody has been somewhere, and, you know, and I think that we would be a whole lot nicer to each other if we understood everybody's story, or if we listened to everybody's story, because everybody has a, you know, everybody is living out their own, you know, whatever situation they happen to be in. Right. So, I mean, if we had a glimpse into that, you might treat somebody a little bit differently. The person that just cut you off in traffic, if you knew where they were coming from or where they were trying to get to, you know, you might not be cussing them out in your mind, getting your blood pressure all riled up. So, I mean, but for this guy, I mean, it's a sad story, but I mean, that's just, it's a lot of people with that story.
Right.
You know, I could walk 2 blocks up the street and find another guy with a story just like that.
Right. It's crazy because I think where it makes that story real funky is the fact that, you know, the judge, they knew each other when they was little kids. Like, you know, just think about that classmate that you had when you was a little kid. In this particular case, you know, the judge said that he was really nice. You know what I mean? We kicked it. We was friends. And you know, when we was 12, we was friends, you know, and you was a nice kid. And I always wondered what happened to you. And now I'm seeing you like this. That's so crazy. Shout out to our sister, Michelle K. She's saying that this is so embarrassing. She feels bad for the man that committed the crime and realized the person that's decided his fate as a classmate. He should feel embarrassed. You said something, Amber. I want to get your opinion. I want to dig into a little bit deeper because of the age of social media and the age of new age communication. Just kind of get your opinion on this. But you mentioned that your friends, when you talk to them on the phone or you text them or whatever. A lot of times people these days don't want to talk at all. Everything is text or email and stuff. What do you think about that? Would you rather talk to somebody on the phone or would you rather text with them?
The only people, I would. I'd prefer to talk on the telephone, but I prefer to talk to somebody that's going to listen. You know, I don't like to talk and nobody's listening. I stopped doing that a long time ago. That's why I stopped giving out unsolicited advice. You know, so I mean, like, I don't like to talk if nobody's listening, but I'm definitely a social person and I definitely like to communicate, and I'm a good communicator, so I like to talk to people that have an opinion about something. But that's why people don't like to talk, because people don't have anything to say,
right,
or nobody to listen,
right?
You know, so I mean, you find the right audience for what you know.
Do you find that you're normally the one that does most of the reaching out, or do you find that in your personal circle that is equal and fair?
I mean, 100%. I'm the person that, you know, that reaches out. But I mean, I'm a different type of person, though. I'm a different type of person. Like, I don't really care about. I don't really care about. Let me see. The word that I'm looking for escapes me. Like how other people see something.
Right.
I don't really care about perceptions. If you know how there's something that you see it on the meme or whatever, and it says, like, you know, if you miss somebody, tell them. If you want to talk to somebody, call them. Like, I'm that person. I just, hey, if I want to talk to you, then I'm gonna call you, or I'm gonna talk to you. You know, like, if I'm wrong or if I'm embarrassed or whatever the case may be, you know, those are all just feelings, and feelings are liars. So you just go through with. Are
you more likely to say you're sorry, or the person you're dealing with is more likely to say it?
Yeah, because I'm the person that cares more about the relationship than the words going. You know, I mean, I'll say it. I'm not a sorry person, and I'm not going to apologize if I'm not sorry. But there are other ways of showing somebody that you're remorseful for how a situation turned out, other than groveling and you know, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I mean, you don't. And a lot of people think that that's what you have to do. Like, you're admitting that you were wrong, or you were admitting that, you know, I mean, you know, and it's none of that. That's why people don't talk to each other anymore, you know?
No, I agree. Said is checking in. What's up, bruh? Our bruh said is checking in with us here tonight. Live Action Captions. That's that brother support his business. You heard the spot that we did in the last segment, so check him out. Live Action Captions. Our brother said, ain't no #Steppin Marcus J. Now, I agree with you on that, Amber. I find, you know, oftentimes I'm the one that usually, and it's just my opinion, you know, people around me might disagree, you know, but I usually find that I'm the one that'll kind of reach out and say, you know, something before, you know, because I don't like there to be darkness. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, because that's just kind of it's not a good feeling, so I don't really like to have it, so I would rather, you know, reach out and say. So I'll give you an example. I was having a debate with Mom's J this weekend, and we were actually talking about Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, and we were talking about the fact that Bruce has transitioned to Caitlyn and the word transgender. And Mom's was like, you know, telling me her opinion, and I was saying, well, yeah, you know, I'm confused about the whole transgender thing because when he became she, didn't have the surgery. So how are you transgender if you don't have the surgery? And she's just like, well, you don't have to have the surgery. You know, it's more about identification. And I was pretty aggressive. I was like, well, you're wrong, and I know, and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, well, we're in the age of, you know, not social media. We're in the age of information. Look it up. So I looked it up. And pretty much every single place that I went to, said that she was right and I was wrong, that it's more about your identification and not about your tools, so to speak. And so in that moment, I had a choice. I had a choice of keeping that information to myself and moving on and hopefully slipping into another conversation and having that not come up, or coming up and saying, you know what, you was right, I was wrong. And I chose to say you was right, I was wrong. And I usually do that. And I think that if more people do that, and I'm not tooting my own horn, I'm just making a point that I think if more people, and it's to your point, if more people do that, I think that we would get along better, because if more people do it, it would encourage those folks who don't want to do it, potentially, to do it more. What do you think?
Yeah, I think communication is important. I think that the art of communication is important, and I think that knowing how to communicate is important, and people do it so infrequently. I'm such a big advocate for the truth. To me, truth is more paramount than feeling and emotions, because ultimately you're just prolonging the inevitable. You know, you tell a lie to spare somebody's feelings, and eventually they end up finding out the truth, and you hurt their feelings even more, because now all the time that you've wasted. I digress, but I definitely think that being able to communicate and being able to admit when you're wrong, and say, you know, and give in to whatever your feeling is, or verbalize whatever your feeling is, and being in your own truth. I mean, I think that that's important.
Right. No.
Like, I mean, if I'm saying there's nothing to be embarrassed of behind that. Like, these days it's so, you know, like, who cares the least? That's the, you know, like when friends go through something, it's almost like, who cares the least? Like, you know, who can, you know, I don't care, I'm over here doing this, I don't care. No, you know, like, that's your friend, and you do care, you know, like, and there's nothing cool about saying you don't care to, you know what I mean?
No, I do.
To other people who don't care about you.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's a, you know, like, forget, you know, putting on and whatnot. Be honest about what you think and or what you feel.
Right.
That's my take.
No, I can dig that. I mean, it's a situation where it almost becomes a competition. Like, which one of us can, you know, stay mad
the longest,
or
which one of us can be the pettiest, or which one of us can try to look the happiest in these Instagram pictures and make everybody else believe that we don't really care. That's how I look at it.
Is that the reason why you took the break?
No, I took my break because it just got to be so much. Like, I mean, I just got to be so overwhelmed with just ridiculousness, and people. I get caught up in between two extremes, wanting to change the world and then realizing that I have no idea where to start or what that entails. Like, I feel like I could change something if what? You know what I mean? Like, how in the world do you do that? Like, it's such a monumental task, and it's just,
right. I
am but one person, and it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to see, you know, people that you're obviously cool with me because I'm on your friends list, you know, which on Facebook means something.
Right.
So you're obviously cool with me, but you have a problem with gay people getting married. Oh, okay. Right. You know, like, I mean, that's kind of, right. Not that I personally care, because everybody can have their own beliefs, but it's kind of like hey, I'm here. I don't care what you're doing. Why do you know, I mean, and on all the racist thing, you know, all the shootings in the churches and the police and the Confederate flags and all of that is just so much noise, because at the end of the day, it doesn't have anything to do with what time I have to get up for work in the morning. I mean, it was just so much. And I mean, and I could give my opinion all day, but then what? Until I'm blue in the face. It's like whack-a-mole, you know? The minute you put your opinion on one thing, here's another thing that somebody is just blatantly wrong and misguided about. And, oh, here, let me go and
do that.
And then the minute, you know, and then I refresh, and here's another bumbling idiot that I've somehow, you know, that's somehow stowed away on my friends list. I mean, it just got to be too much.
Right.
And I just wanted to turn it off. I was like, stop the world, I want to get off.
Right.
And that's just like the greatest link. And I find that a lot of times it's a crutch for me.
Right.
Just because
when you say the crutch, what's the crutch?
Just because in the absence, there's always Facebook. In the monotony of having to do things, there's Facebook. You know, it's just sort of the background music for whatever is going on, and it kind of puts you on autopilot to where you don't really have to think about filling in the space with anything constructive, because you have the space filled. You have to check your Facebook, or you have to, and nothing is happening on, you know, like, I mean, for yourself, you do, you know, you have a different purpose for yours. For mine, socially speaking, nothing is happening.
Right.
You know, there is no reason why I cannot leave my phone in the car. There is nobody that needs to get in contact with me about anything that I can do anything about.
Right.
I don't have, you know what I mean? Like,
right. So you can,
I can't help.
You can detach if you have to.
Easily, because nobody's, you know, if you're my friend, I'm talking to you. You know, like, I mean, I deactivated my Facebook, and the only real thing that I would have had to do is get you my number,
right.
But you still managed to, you know what I mean? Because I talk to you and we have a link. So it's just like, there's no reason why I have to post a status about forward me your email address. I'm shutting down for a little while. I need to go away. No, I just logged out,
right.
Like deactivate, you know, anybody right. looking for Amber Hendricks is going to find somebody else. You know, I just deactivated for a little while, man. It's just, you know, I mean, and then I was able to come back and, you know, and have some of the seriousness taken out of it because it was so draining.
So you refreshed.
Pretty much.
And regrouped.
Yeah, and I can totally do without it. You know, like I can totally, like, even for that week. Yeah, because I mean, like, I wasn't even logging in, which has you putting your phone down a whole lot more, which has you living life a whole lot more.
And actually talking to people. Ain't no hashtag.
A whole lot more.
Marcus J. Hakeem is still listening. He says that there's nothing wrong with being wrong. He doesn't mind it. It's part of learning. He thinks, he says, prove him wrong any day. 100% agree with you on that one, Hawk. He also says that he rather text, no phone calls. He's not a fan of banal chit chat. And so I can dig that as well. You know, some folks I like to talk to, and then some folks, you know, sometimes it's kind of awkward to find, you know, the words to say and stuff. Yeah. I think, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe it's kind of like the chauvinist in me, but, you know, like two dudes on the phone is kind of weird to me. I don't want to talk to you that much. You know what I'm saying, dude? I mean, I'll see you. You know, the chances are if we boys, I'm going to see you.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Guys communicate differently too.
Yeah. You know, and like, there's certain text messages, you know what I mean? Like, if you texting as a guy, you texting to a lady, it's different. But if you're a guy, you know, there shouldn't be any of those 3- and 4-page texts with, you know, K-bye at the end and stuff.
You don't text K to each other?
Nah.
So what do y'all say?
Peace, son.
That's so many letters.
I'ma holla at you, dog.
So many letters.
You know what I mean? And it's got nothing to do with like sexuality and nothing. It's just awkward. It just feels weird. You know what I mean? Because as a guy, I communicate with, you know, with a woman differently than I communicate with a guy. You know what I mean? It ain't got nothing to do with sexuality. It's got more to do with how I'm comfortable kicking it with you.
But yeah, I feel you on that though, because like on that same thing, like we're supposed to be going on this road trip or whatever, in and up at Walt Disney World, and it's just like a whole bunch of people keep on dropping out of the trip, but me and my homie was still on, and we were just like, listen, we don't want to buy these tickets, and then we get down to Orlando and we're the only 2 people at Walt Disney World because, hey, I'm not that gay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gay. I'm not that gay. I'm not going up in Walt Disney World. I'm just not doing it. You know, like, if we were on a double date or more friends, then maybe.
You want to make sure that there's a buffer there.
There's got to be. Like, we need a kid or something.
And I don't know. Can you take a dog? Can you take a dog?
I mean, maybe a service animal or something.
But I'll get you a stick.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm not. I mean, a road trip is cool. You know, like little roadside. You know, like jumping out to grab something to eat. I'm not Walt Disney. Even Universal Studios would be cool.
Universal is cool.
Walt Disney World. I'm not going there with another stud. I'm sorry.
Nah, Disney. Yeah, I don't know.
There's got to be somebody who wears perfume.
That can be arranged.
Yeah. It's got to be somebody who wears perfume.
That can be arranged. They don't have Steppin with Marcus J. Live for the Dead. Legacy of the I love Amber, man. We had the best talks and whatnot. You just happen to be privy to it because it's on the air tonight. But even when it's off the air, fly on the wall of our conversations, but we kick it, and that's my homie right there. Ain't no hashtag Mark J. 804-402-2893. All right. This next story, got this one from Cousin Terry. Shout out to Cousin Terry. You heard her live here on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure you'll hear her live on the show, you know, whenever we have the opportunity to be blessed with her wit and her intellect. Love her. But she gave me this story that tripped me out, Amber. I don't know if you heard about this dude. He posed as an armored truck employee, and he walked out of Walmart with $75,000.
Yeah.
They say that he pretended to be a Loomis armored truck employee, Went to the store about 10:38, told employees he was there to pick up the deposit. He was given the money and walked out. No one realized that he wasn't legitimate until after 11 a.m. when the real truck guard showed up for the deposit. Now, let's have a little fun just for a minute. Let's say, for example, we ain't got to get into what our address is here in case somebody's mad at you or mad at me and they want to come beat us up. So we won't say the address here. We'll just say that we're near downtown Richmond. Is that fair?
Right.
We're near downtown Richmond.
Yeah.
If we got into the car and we drove 20, let's just say 20 minutes south of here, we damn near in Petersburg.
Yeah.
20 minutes south of here.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And 20 minutes north of here, you damn near in Ashland.
This is true.
For those folks in Jersey, that's leaving Jersey City and being out Route 22 out near Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I mean? For those folks in Atlanta, Georgia, that's going 5 miles in that jacked up little traffic that y'all got down there. I'm clowning out. But anyway, the point is 20 minutes, you could have gotten really far, Amber, in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It took them that long to find this dude. And the surveillance video is pretty damn grainy. What do you think about this dude walk up in Walmart and left with 75 G's?
This dude is a genius, man. This dude is a genius. He didn't even steal anything. You know what I mean? Like, how could they even get him on robbery charges? They gave him the money. He probably didn't even say that he was a Loomis employee. He just walked in. They saw, the general, what he had on, all the pockets and the utility pants. Presumed that he was somebody that he wasn't. Gave him the money. He walked out, got in his car, and bounced.
Whose fault is that?
The clerks that they pay in minimum wage. Okay, them clerks.
G's,
$75,000. That's probably like 2 times more than they're making this year.
Oh my God,
they don't care. They're insured for it.
Yeah, that's a hell of a hustle.
That's crazy. I mean, that's just. I heard about that this morning, and I was like, man, that guy is a genius.
Yeah.
He probably didn't even say anything.
Nah, man.
He just walked in. They gave him the money, and he just left.
I wonder if I know bank money is typically marked and traceable. You know what I mean? Let's have some fun with this. I don't know if you know it. I know I don't know. So
what you trying to say?
I don't know if the money is marked and if they can track him that way. I guess is where I'm going. I
don't know. I think that
ain't no die pack.
I think that it might not be because you know what? I know you've heard stories before, like where they dump those where they've lost a bag on the side of the road, and then like a good Samaritan has turned it back in, or they'll call and say, hey, we dropped a bag of money. That's happened a couple of times. They're like, the armored truck. So maybe they're not, because if they're asking somebody to turn it back in,
yeah,
then they must be on a wing and a prayer, and they must know that there's no dye in it. You know what I mean?
Ain't nothing in that bag. I mean, dye packs. I mean, why would there be? And I guess I'm not in the security.
I don't know where it would come from. Like, is that money that comes from maybe the Treasury and goes out to the banks or something?
My guess is it's probably straight up transfer of money from Walmart. Because remember, he walked out of Walmart
with the money, to take it into the trust. There probably wasn't. It was probably just bands.
It was bands of money that they had collected. It's probably like the day's take or
I wish I'd had that idea.
Night's take. Yeah.
And what better place to do it than Walmart?
Yeah, because the more I'm talking through, the more I'm thinking this through and talking this through. If he's walking out, it's not like he was walking in.
And he knew the schedule because he was there 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes before they were. This brother knew, okay? He thought about this. Now, that's some genius stuff. Yeah, like, he just sat out there. I mean, it's something that, for real, it's something that if I was sitting outside of Walmart and I saw the Brinks truck or the Loomis truck pull up and I saw the guy jump out, if I'm sitting out there waiting on somebody that's inside the Walmart, and I'm looking at this guy, that's something I would think about. Like, man, I wonder if I pulled up and went in there wearing a Dickies suit. I wonder if they would give me this money.
Would we be surprised if someone came in and didn't look familiar? You know what I mean? Or are we used to having the same guy come every single week?
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, and he probably knew that too. He had probably already been in there. He figured out when they came, went in. But even still, people are so non-confrontational that even if it was a different guy, they probably wouldn't have said anything. Or made a small joke. They'd be like, hey, where's Greg? Oh, Greg's out this week, or he's on vacation or something. You know,
Yeah, well,
sprained his knee. He'll be back next week or whatever.
Yeah, and I bet you Walmart wishes that they would have said more to figure out where Greg was. $75,000.
You right about. Let me tell you something. I bet you all them Walmart employees are going to be learning about it now, and all those extra trainings they're going to have to take, and all those extra videos they're going to have to watch about fighting.
I don't know how. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how rich you are. Somebody jack you for 75 G's. You got to feel that, man. I mean, even. You know, when you think it is a drop in the bucket, but it's a drop in the bucket. But you talking about an individual store. If you're talking about, you know, Walmart, the conglomerate, or the, you know, the national headquarters, but you know,
Walmart's individually owned and operated?
Well, I guess that's where I'm going and wondering, because I don't know.
I mean, think so.
We're just having fun and having a discussion. I have no idea.
I think that they're all owned by like the Walton family or something like that. And there's like one, and there's a lady that's an heir to all that money. She's
so
like
basically what you're saying is, if you and I got really, really rich and we wanted to buy into the Walmart chain, we wouldn't be able to?
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think so. I mean, I don't know though. I'm not sure, because I don't know if it's like, I don't think that it's, I have no idea, because maybe it's traded like on the stock market. Maybe that has something to do with like ownership stakes. I have no idea. My dad would know. My dad knows everything.
Hopefully your dad is listening, because he was listening before the last time.
He was supposed to be listening, but he's also supposed to be working.
Okay.
But let me see, what time is it in California?
It is 5:09.
It is 5:09, so he might just be on his way home.
He might be. Well, hopefully, if he is listening, he will call us and let us know if he, in fact, is a smart guy. Ain't no half Steppin, Marcus J, live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. We got a call on the live line. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about, caller? Caller, I gave you a really cool introduction, and now you're not saying anything, and I'm feeling some kind of way about it. So I'll do it one more time. Caller, you on the live line. Caller, what's your name? What you want to get in on? Caller, I still hear dead air. Caller, call us back. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J, live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. So Amber, you mentioned that you said that he might be working at this hour.
Yeah, he might be. He should be on his way home, actually. He should be on his way home. But he knows everything. I'm sure he knows and can explain very eloquently.
Hopefully he's listening to us.
I know, but you know what? He's driving. I'm gonna
If he's got access to TuneIn, he could be hooking it up inside the car, and he could listen to us as he travels. So
he probably is listening as he travels, but he doesn't use his phone while he's driving, and I don't know how. We have the same, because we both have Toyotas. So I don't know.
We're going to try this caller thing one more time, because when I did the great introduction to the caller a minute ago, the caller didn't say anything. So, caller, you're on the live line on Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Caller, you there? Caller, your phone is jacked up. You need to get it together. That way we can hear you better. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. All right, so caller, if you're still listening and you want to get back in, call us back and we can try to see if we can get your comment in. But for now, we're going to move on to something else. But we will take your call on whatever it was that you wanted to get in on it. This next one, Amber, I ain't going to lie, man. We talked a little while ago about stupid people. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about some more stupid people. These people have tried a dangerous new trend, summer trend, that, in fact, can increase your chances of cancer by over 50%. Of course, summer is here. Sunburn art. Listen to what I said. Sunburn art is a new trend where people are using sunscreen to draw designs on their bodies before going into the sun. The idea is to get severe sunburn so that the design created with the sunscreen is visible. Dermatologists say that the fad can actually increase your risk for melanoma by 50%. Quote, "It is intense sunburn which increases your risk for melanoma, which is the most deadly of skin cancers. Sunburn art can also make your skin age faster. Quote, the collagen gets fragmented and gets old. It looks like old skin. The more sun exposure you have, the sooner your skin gets the changes that we are talking about. Doctors recommend wearing SPF 30 sunblock while spending time outdoors. They also said sunburn creams work much better than the spray. Estimated 73,000 cases of invasive melanoma will be diagnosed in the United States in 2015. That's what they're saying. I don't know what to say about this one. And before I get you to comment on this one, Amber, I'm going to have our guest who just walked in, who ain't no real guest. She is, in fact, the co-host of this show. This is my sister that just walked in the door. We got S.Y. Butler. What up, yo? What up, yo? What's going on?
Oh, ain't nothing. What's going on?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Oh, nice, lovely, smiling faces.
Yeah, she talking about me, Amber.
I was talking about Amber, actually.
Oh, good
You
grief.
just sexy with your glasses.
Well, you know, what can I say? I got on my JJ real quick. But as you're walking in, you hear us setting up this story here about these folks with the sunburnt art. So since you're coming in, I'll get Amber on it after you. What's your thoughts on these stupid people?
Well, I missed a little bit of it, but are you saying that we should wear sunblock? Is that what I heard?
Well, I mean, as far as sunblock, yeah, you should obviously wear sunblock. But these people are going out there to put sunblock on certain spots of their bodies so that the rest of it can get burned so that they can get art on their bodies.
Oh, MY. I missed that. No, that's stupid. I really don't know what to say about that. That's really stupid. I was getting, oh God, I was getting ready to recommend a sunblock.
Well, I mean, the dermatologist tried to recommend sunblock, Amber, but these folks, you know, and that's why I'm going to show y'all what this actually looks like. If you would look at the art, you know, this particular genius has, you know, what looks like a flower or something on their bodies that, you know, you can see all the red and you can see, you know, where tomorrow this person's going to be peeling like you wouldn't believe. You know what I mean? And it has to be painful. You know, fortunately for me, you know, I've never in my life experienced what it must be like to have sunburn. But obviously some of these people do. We're going to try this thing with the caller. Caller, you got one more chance to get it right. Caller, you on the live line with us yet? Caller, you there?
Unmute your phone.
Unmute your phone, caller. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on with you.
Your cheekbones hit the mute.
All right, caller. I've done my due diligence to get you in on the show, but for some reason, it's not working out for you tonight. Ain't no how Steppin Marcus. Amber, what you think? What do you think about the sunburn, the sunburn art?
I used to do that when I was a kid. I mean, not extra as that. But I used to draw A's on myself, like with the sunblock, and just lay there so that that part, you know, everything around it would tan, and then I'd wipe it off because we thought it was cool. I mean, yeah, we saw the, I saw the picture of this guy, yeah, and I didn't have any of that going on, but and it definitely wasn't, you know, any, you know, professional grade stuff such as this. But yeah, I had my little kindergarten A's going on a thigh or something like that.
Oh my God. How old were you when you did that?
Probably like 8, 9, 10.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and I wasn't even really tanning, really. You know, this was more like, okay, I know what sunblock is. Let me see if this will work. Like, okay, let me put this on the back on my leg.
I'm not going to say anything because we used to hold the magnifying glass over and get the burn.
To see if it will burn something up. Yeah, we used to try to burn leaves and paper and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's silly things when we were a kid, but I mean, we know much better. But that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it not cool, it's just not smart.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Like you can.
I think they should sunblock your brain.
Yeah, you can really get yourself, you know, really, you know, sick like that, and cancer, melanoma, skin cancer, just so that you can have a nice, natural tattoo, for lack of a better term, is a damn shame.
That's a cousin of relatives of Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Once again.
Ain't too smart. And you know, I have Steppin with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. All right, this next one, that's why I'm gonna get you to jump in here on this one first. I'm getting this one from our local NBC affiliates out of Baltimore. Inmates use sex to run Baltimore jail. This is what federal officials are saying. Between the sex, raw meat, and oil paintings, what went down at Clinton Correctional Facility in New York sounds more like the fall of Rome than upstate New York, but it happened. And as outlandish and apparently out of control as it was, the one thing that happened was that it was not unique as far as crazy stuff. Yeah. Another story comes from a different lockup where the inmates essentially took over. Before they had sweeping investigation in the Baltimore City Detention Center, the inmates seemed to be running the place. According to federal authorities, a deadly gang called the Black Guerrilla Family lorded over the empire of drugs and other contraband in the jail, and all of the direction of their leader, inmate Tavon White. Tavon White is wiretapped as part of the investigation, and there's a quote that's kind of stood out where he said, "This is my jail." Something along those lines is what Ian Duncan of the Baltimore Sun said. So how was him and his homies able to do it? Who knows how and they were able to do it. But basically it was something along the lines of them controlling guards, having sex with guards, and things of that sort. Up until the scandal broke wide open in 2013, 75% of the jail's 650 corrections officers were women, and according to one inmate who was a witness for the government, up to 3/4 of those female guards were involved in, quote, contraband smuggling and or having sexual relationships with inmates. It all began to unravel when the FBI and other law enforcement officials began to investigate. They were able to tap the contraband cell phone that the gang members were using to build up a picture of the network, who was connected, and who Tavon had control over to build the case that way. You're up first, that's why. There's more here. I think we said enough. What you think about this?
Well, you know, I think it's effed up. I'm not surprised, because look at the people they're arresting, number one, that they're putting in there. And then look at this thing that just happened when the two inmates escaped from New York, and one of them was having sex with the guard. Her and her husband helped let them out. So running the prison, I'm not quite sure I'm going to be surprised on that. It's a shame. You know, they get them for every little thing. And, I mean, like, nasty.
Yeah, that's crazy. Amber, you think about these, a gang, a jail gang running the jail, sleeping with guards and bringing in drugs and getting the guards to bring in stuff. I mean, there's a lot of different directions that we can go here, but, you know, what do you think?
Just because I'm all into those prison shows. Guess what? Like, hey, I don't know, I don't even see what the point of prison is sometimes, you know, because once you've compromised the guards, that's it.
That's it.
And nobody's going to tell you that they've been, you know, I mean, but I think things like that happen all the time, because these are just people. And even though these prison guards get to go home at the end of the day, they still have to be there, you know, for the greater majority of their day. You know, I mean, that's any of us those of us that aren't lucky enough to, you know, to be able to work from home. I'm at my job 10 hours every single day. I see them more than I see anybody else in life that I want to see. And that's just, you know, that's the same thing with these corrections officers. So, I mean, the prisoners get institutionalized. I'm sorry. I know that, shout out to everybody that's working in the prison system, but I mean, you have to get, oh, you can't hear me, I'm sorry. You got to survive in there, because at the end of the day, those prisoners know that there's more of them than there are of you. And if you don't have them on your side, not that I've ever been there, knock on wood, but I'm just saying, if you don't have them on your side,
then they'll get you on their side.
Hey, I'm on your side. You know, like, I mean, you have a job to do, and you have guidelines and whatnot to keep in place. But
they'd be like, "Oh, how's your wife and kids?"
Humans doing a job that, you know, that, I mean, that you can't have human compassion or human emotion with. You're not supposed to have natural human interactions with people, you know. And it's almost it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable. And they said at that jail 75% of the workers were female, right?
We're female. Now we
were
having trouble.
What in the world?
we were having trouble with the phone. For some reason the caller wasn't able to get through, but it looks like they have been able to get a message, and I'm gonna try to see if this message thing worked, and if not, then we'll move on. Let's see if, you know, the caller said that they left a voicemail for us, and now it looks like they're trying to call again. I'm giving this caller a whole lot of leeway. Caller,
They are dedicated.
They're definitely dedicated caller. Caller, you still trying to get in? Can you hear us now? Doesn't look like it. Okay. I don't know what's going on with this caller, but it looks like they may have tried to leave a message, and I don't know if we can hear it, but we're going to try to listen to this message that the caller left. Let's see.
Okay, so I'm trying to get on to call in with you live. This is Aunt Terry. This is Cousin Terry.
Oh.
This Walmart story is hilarious to me. How many times do you have a brother walk into a store and walk out with $75,000, bulletproof vest or not? Those Walmart employees have been conditioned to give the money to the brother in the vest, whether he had a gun on him or not. It's just a case of somebody probably thought we all looked alike. It shouldn't have taken 30 minutes for them to realize that the guy who's supposed to be driving the armored truck drove off in a Chevy Malibu. So I think the whole thing is kind of ridiculous, but once again, it just goes to the Walmart antics. Walmart is quickly becoming a big joke to me. Maybe I'll try and call back in. I don't know. I'll talk to you later. You guys are having a great show. Love listening to you. Talk to you soon.
And you know, Steppin with Marcus J. All right, so now we figured out who the caller was. The caller was my cousin Terry. So that's the reason why I had to make sure, because it looks like for some reason we could not get her voicemail. Excuse me, we couldn't get her in live, but for some reason the voicemail thing was working. Looks like she tried one more time, got something else in.
Oh my goodness! Don't you think it's weird that there are these reports out there about sunblock, and now all of these people getting ate up by sharks? Maybe there's a little Lowry seasoning salt in the sunblock. You think? Bye.
No half stepping with Marcus J. All right, my cousin Terry is definitely, she is definitely making sure that she is part of the show, and she's bringing some serious questions with a little bit of humor. So she certainly understands how we do it here on Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Amber. When I think about stuff like this with the Baltimore inmate, I mean, we did 75% of the guards are ladies. They're ladies. I mean, what's up with that, man?
That's nasty.
You work in the prison, and I understand that, you know, sometimes people are charismatic and they say certain things to you, but I mean, these dudes is in prison. Like,
I mean, that's true. But if you think about it, look at this. You got 24 hours a day, right? You're supposed to sleep for 8 hours a day. You work for 8 hours a day, and the other 8 you're supposed to have free to do whatever you want, theoretically, right? Hypothetically speaking,
right?
8 hours you're asleep. Okay, so the 8 hours that you're at work is your life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have another 8 hours to do whatever you want to do, and I understand it. I don't think that I could either. But then again, I'm not the type of person that would want to work in a prison and, you know, rule over other people. Not to say, you know, that there's a type of,
like, he don't have no benefits, y'all.
I wouldn't want to do that. But you know what?
No
they
income.
sit in there. Hey, they say that, you know, all the good men either locked up or gay. All the good men in there. They winning, y'all. He's like, these niggas out here losing.
Like, if you want a man, go to jail.
Exactly. Be a
work in a prison.
Okay, be a CO.
Get your man, boo.
Okay, go to be a CO. Exactly. That's probably they know what it is up in Baltimore.
My goodness,
They stop trying to look. I'll just be a CO. It's cool.
They gotta figure it out.
They're not going nowhere. You don't have to worry about them leaving. The cheat goes mess with no other females.
They might go mess with another dude though.
Put him right in the hole.
Yeah, put him in the shoe. Yeah,
put him in the shoe. Exactly.
Yeah, put him in the shoe.
I'm grossed out.
Oh my goodness, Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Dead Legacy Internet Radio. We having some fun up in this joint. We're gonna take another break, and we're gonna shake our asses during this break, y'all. So when you hear we playing, we're gonna shake our asses tonight. I got my co-host SY, and I got my once a month, first of the month homie Amber's up in this joint. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. We come back, Amber's gonna ask the question: what's the point of staying informed? Let's wobble, y'all.